If you had the opportunity to live in a children's wonderland, would you choose anywhere else? We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Hello and welcome to Real Talk with Anele right here on SABC3 Live, where the stage is yours. Today on the show, we have award-winning singer, songwriter, producer, whose songs have placed him firmly on the musical map across many nations. With a growing fan base in the UK, Japan, Italy and South Africa, and is backed by the biggest and best record labels. It is no wonder in 2015 he was amongst the top 10 most played artists in South Africa and Italy. In 2016, he won Best Pop Album of the Year at the Summers for his debut album 7, and he doesn't seem to be slowing down because his sophomore album, The Beautiful Madness, which is released worldwide on the 26th of May 2017, received prime banner placement on iTunes in South Africa, Japan, Italy, Australia, and the USA upon its release. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, help me welcome a rare and a true African treasure. His name is Tresor Riziki, but we know him as Tresor, and he is now ours. I know you were born in the DRC, but I think after all these years, we can call you ours, Mas.
Yes, I'm home.
You're home, right?
I'm home,
You're home. And can I say, you're a repeat offender. This is not your first time here.
All right.
Welcome back, and I've had you on my radio show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Your style is like doing this.
Thank you. It's, I think more now than ever, I'm just really proudly African and making sure I really put, my pride and just, on my sleeve and showing, with the threads and the shoes and everything, and you just got to send the message across. Was
there a lot of pressure? Because I know 7 did well. If I remember correctly, 7 was in the top 26 most listened to albums in the airplay in South Africa.
That's right.
Right? Yeah,
That's
I'm
correct.
not, so I am right.
Yeah, the whole album really did change my life.
It did.
My first album, we broke overseas, having 2 number ones in Europe, and I just started traveling, and things went really crazy so fast, and hence The Beautiful Madness.
Yes.
The whole stage, and I just named that whole stage of my life The Beautiful Madness, because I went back in studio to write music instead of just losing my mind.
Oh, great. So during that period where you dropped your first album,
yes,
and you'd been writing for artists already.
That's
now,
correct.
I just want to set this up for people because you were writing for the likes of Zahara.
That's correct.
And then you were like, let me just do my own thing. And then you released 7. And so during you touring for 7 and doing all the interviews, you were writing music.
Yes, I'm writing, I think it's the best way I keep myself sane and just focused, And I think with the first album, it really hit me by surprise. A lot of things happened so fast.
It hit us by surprise.
I just started traveling a lot, One day I was in Cape Town, and they're like, no, you're actually going to be in Italy in 5 days. And I've never been there. I've just, the music is there, it's doing well,
Yeah.
And it just, life from there, for me, life changed. And a lot of things happened at the same time. And I felt like, I was nervous. A lot of things happened at the same time with different hotels, different airports, different cities. And I just went back to drawing board, started writing while traveling. And I think it's been the most exciting journey for me so far.
Yeah, I think there are few musicians, not in South Africa, not in Africa, in the world, that have had a career and a life as colorful as yours. I'm going to go back to the DRC. You are 8 years old. Things are happy. You have a family. You guys are great. You are well off. Your parents take you to church where you learn drums, and this is where you fall in love with music.
That's correct.
So tell me what happens there.
So when I was very, very young, the horrible Rwandan genocide happened.
Yeah.
And I come from a really very small city called Goma.
Yeah.
And Goma was literally the getaway city for most of Rwandan refugees. And when we were very, very young, we saw people dying on the street, in front of us, very young, like most of us kids of that generation. And we'll be going to school and just stick our head out the school bus and just literally count the dead bodies across the street, you know, and until we get tired. So our parents, you know, there were no really other means for them to help us kind of cope with the pain and the confusion and being young, seeing all those horrible things. And the mechanism was, okay, we'll try to see if we can take the kids to like a little, almost like a youth center. And so I went to a church, and I met a lot of other guys there. And for the first time, I started playing drums and guitars. And for me, that was pretty much the genesis. And I really never stopped since.
So as a child, are you not, because I'd imagine when I was young, I had anxiety. Like if something bad happened to somebody else, I think it's going to happen to me. So as a child, like you say, you stick your head out the school bus and you see dead bodies. Do you not feel like that's going to happen to you any day now? You
know, it's crazy. I think it's affected me in my adulthood more than my childhood. Because I think throughout my childhood, my parents, I was fortunate. My parents had a couple of pharmacies in the city. They come from very, not rich family, but they really worked hard and made sure we had a really good standard of living. And they really tried the best to get us to a good school and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, at that time, as a young child, you see horrible things. I mean, still happening today in the world, and you're not really deeply conscious about it. You know, now that, you know, obviously I'm old and stuff, sometimes I get to understand the effects of it, you know. Now that, the flashbacks, you know, because you know you become a little bit fragile about, you know, certain things. But I mean, as I said, I'm just fortunate that I'm in a position to be able to express and share this story. But there are many kids of my age back home who couldn't really make it. And when I see them, I mean, I think the most life-changing trip I made recently was in September last year. To back home and just to visit. And
was it the first time you went?
A second time, but
since
the first time, it's like I've been gone for a long time. I just made my first publishing check with Zahara, and I bought my little first car, and everybody was, you know, the African family, everybody expecting some money, you know, so I was just balling, you know, everybody, you know.
Making it rain.
Second time, I love to go really down low, and this time I just met people I grew up with, and it was really sad because a lot of them are stuck in 1994, 1998, and it's not, they're smart, we went to school together. It's just that the whole life event that happened throughout our youth and childhood really messed up with the head.
Why didn't they come with you to South Africa? Because you said you left the DRC with the sole intention, I'm going to South Africa.
You know, it's also a drive, it's a dream, and that, I think, for that matter, I always told myself, you know, I don't think my dream is just myself alone. It's not just my own dream, you know, and it's so beautiful because it has ignited a big sense of hope in a lot of refugees and orphans back home, and you know, my sister will be like, yo, dude, people are waiting for your homecoming concert. You know, it makes me nervous, but it's a city where never ever in history they ever have an artist or just a young man live and make a mark somewhere in a country in Europe. And for them, being part of the Mama's Awards, it was just the craziest thing. The whole city had like a parade, you know. So it's a really beautiful journey, and I'm really grateful.
And your sister, is she still there? Do you not want...
I'm from a big family. It's 7 of us.
Okay.
You know, it's a lot. You know, my sister's a doctor. She's doing well for herself, working in Burundi, and her husband are both doctors. And I have a little sister actually come after me that will become just an international lawyer a few months ago. Thank you, by the way, for paying the school fees, because I mean, through my music, I managed to take it to school.
Oh, wow. And so you're basically saying you are the underachiever in your house, because there's doctors and there's lawyers and there's a singer.
But I've been paying for fees, though. I've been paying.
All right, listen, don't go away, because after the break, Tresor will tell us about how he landed up here in South Africa with no knowledge of English or any local language, and basically how he was a car guard and then went from car guard to writing for Zahara. We're going to hear all of it. Stay with us. If my brother was shooting music videos on yachts in water like that, he would also be paying for my education.
Oh, I was not really on the yacht, but yeah, sometimes we on it, sometimes.
Sometimes we out here, we out here.
You know,
So, especially that song, I read an international publication, it was an Italian magazine, they described your sound They said Coldplay vocals with a Maskandi melody. Would you agree with that? Would you add on?
Look, I think like what I really managed to fuse personally as a songwriter is being able to tap into mainstream songwriting with a nice African undertone to the music. And, you know, I wouldn't say they're not really wrong, you know, because, I mean, Coldplay is one of my biggest favorite or influences.
Okay.
And Maskandi is, you know,
It's
truly African. I love it. You know, it's Africa and we're shining. We're shining right now worldwide, you know, and Africa is the best.
the sound is coming from here. You can see that, right?
The sound has been coming from here for years, for decades.
Now we know the sound is coming from here.
It's just now it's very obvious because, you know, it's like the whole mainstream is riding with it. But I'm a big fan of like old school music and study the likes of Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson and you know from the time from Off the Wall to Bad to Thriller, you can really hear the real Africa, including Liberian girl Fletambulu singing the vocals. You know, so it's Africa has been shining. It just we haven't really received like the lights that we deserved, but we've been for years. We've been really carrying the mainstream rhythm.
Speaking of Africa, you know a lot of the African countries personally.
Yes.
With your 2 feet.
Yes.
Right? We'll never stop telling the story. The day before you leave DRC to go through several countries to land in South Africa, did you know that you're leaving the next day, or did you wake up that day and be like, yes,
I knew for a while. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, one of my friends who really is an engineer in Pretoria, a very smart guy. I landed in my bag. And I had this little program, like prayer program in the bag 3 years before I left, of like preparing for my trip.
Wow.
Outside of my country, I had to go my trip for my dream. And I just didn't know where.
Oh.
I mean, my uncle lived in Norway and he wanted me to go. And as I said, for me, I always call it like a beautiful mistake, but also I think it's really a purpose because it's been pretty much the greatest journey for me being in South Africa. It's been one of the biggest part of my purpose as a human being and also just as an artist. And I knew the day before I was going to leave, so I never really, I mean, we lost our parents when we were very young, and my sisters are I have 5 sisters.
Yeah.
So, and we're really close. And I was not strong enough to tell them I'm leaving. No, I could not. So I left, so we never spoke for about 2.5 months. 3 months until I arrived in South Africa. And the first call I gave her, she really gave me a lot of trouble. That's why I never told her.
Where were you? We thought you were dead.
Yeah, it's like, you're going to die and I don't want to speak to you anymore and all this kind of stuff. And eventually she's like, you know what, I don't really want to talk to you. So we didn't speak for a few months. That was my older sister. And, I couldn't tell them I was working as a car guard or security guard and all of a sudden.
So, yeah, you're working as the car guard and the security guard to survive in South Africa. Why not take the option to go to Norway to your uncle? Because I don't think you would have been a car guard in Norway.
Look, life is hard everywhere. When you don't have the right education or the right documentation, and also at that time he could not afford it. So he tried. And to be honest, I was really just young and adventurous. I left my city, and at that time just traveling through different cities, went through Malawi, Mozambique, Rwanda, and just doing my thing. And a few months, it took normally about 4 hours flight. It took me about 3 months or so to get here to Durban that time. And I love the city and I love the people, and I told myself, this is my home and this is Africa and this is where I live. We possibly gonna have bigger buzz globally very soon in next year or so. But, I've really personally found a place where I'll call home.
So I know people watching now are like, wait a minute. If he walked from the DRC to South Africa, why did he land up in Durban? How do you pass Joburg, Bloemfontein? Do you know what I'm saying? Why Durban?
Look, when people say walk, it was hitchhiking and all. And as I said again, there's certain things personally were not in my control, and Durban, though it's very laid back and relaxed, and it was the perfect start for me.
Why?
The perfect, because I could go mad if I arrived in Joburg. You know, life is here. Even when I moved here after 6, 7 years, it just life was too fast. I come from a really very small city. It's could be enough a bigger jump. And I mean, I stayed in Durban and I started there, and it just like made sense because I kind of was molding myself as a writer and learning to speak English.
But how do you know Durban is laid back? Is somebody else saying that Durban is like...
As I said again, I was not even aware.
So then how do you pick something you don't know?
It was the only place that I had a link. So I came through a small a border, I think called Manguzi. You know, I was actually, last week, during Durban July, the day after, I always have the habit of driving places. I work as a car guard, or the first time I got dropped off in Durban, in Warwick Junction in Durban, and it's at the market in Central. So I was driving my friends there just to show them, hey, by the way, that was the place I arrived, and I worked as a car guard, a security guard. So it's always fun, and for me, it's as I said again, you know, I'm really blessed, and there's certain points of my purpose I can't really explain because I myself don't even know.
Yeah, listen, I'm sitting here and I'm trying hard to like fathom, you know, moving through countries across the African continent, hitchhiking, walking, making it to South Africa, saying, I'm gonna go to Durban, and then staying there for 7 years, right?
Yeah.
Some people give up their dream within 3 months, 1 year. Staying there for 7 years, writing one album, and you know that when you write it, everything will be fine. What mind is that? What about your mind is so strong that it believes that?
I think from the time I was very, very young, I really made peace. I wanted to be a musician, whether I succeed or not. I made peace. I mean, we all measure success differently. And for me, I think all I wanted to do is really paint a new picture of this small city that has really experienced more bloodshed, more rape victims, more atrocities, and a lot of disaster than anything, and just bring a new sense of hope. And for me, that was always been my mission. And so far, I think we're good. So far, we're really doing good.
So, what's your fear? Is your fear that you could lose all of this and go back and be a car guard? Or are you like, yeah, but I know how to make it back, so I'm fine?
Like, I always tell my people, man, I've tested the dust. I can test it again. It's cool. Like, I personally, I think the fear has always been not being able to inspire kids back home, and not being able to show people that it actually doesn't matter where you start, it's possible, you know. And it's never something that I knew deep inside. You never know for sure, but I knew it's always been deep inside. And it's the same thing with the global path we're taking, you know. And I mean, it's really inspiring to see what Trevor Noah is doing.
It's so funny. As you're talking, I'm thinking of him because I'm just like, the fact that you're big in Japan and Italy and all of that, like, you're that guy.
Yeah, so thank you. So it's, for me, every time I look at him, and it just, I'm like, there's no really much time anymore. You know, it's there. You know, I have the strong feeling. The music's there. The content is there. And you know, if you go on my social media, I get really like big brands like from overseas, just randomly strolling to my Insta stories. I'm like, excuse me, you produced Rihanna's song. Why are you going to my Insta stories? You know, so it's close. It's really close.
So his album has broken the internet, and his sound has a unique fusion, which is testament of his travels across the African continent. More on Tresor after the break, but don't forget to enter our weekly competition using the details on the screen. Don't go away. When you come back, I want to ask him if he was the cat guy to be like, Oza, bona wenzani. That video, you were wearing the same outfit. So is this your uniform now?
So this is the theme of the whole Remedy time, like as in the phase of Remedy. And we're going to release a new single, and also going to be a theme. So the whole album, as I said, it's called Beautiful Madness.
Yeah.
And it's really like, it's inspired by 80s African pop and dance music. So think Chico Twala, Brahiu, Mahotela Queens. And, you know, I just thought, you know, in this day and age, we're not really taking our brand and also just the music and the theme really very strongly. And I really want to bring something really strong and across, and just, you know, just to revive the glory days of African pop music.
So then my next concern as a female and a mother, how many of these do you have? Do you wash it and then iron it and then put it on again the next day?
I have a personal tailor.
Okay, so he made a lot of the same outfits.
Yes, I have a lot of outfits. I have plenty. You're gonna see.
But this specific one, Zingat.
You don't know? About 4.
Oh, okay, so you just rotate so that
Yep.
one's in the wash, the other one is getting ironed, the other one is waiting for you.
I don't really rotate them. You know, they're always ready. So today I just picked one.
Excuse us. Somebody wants to know who styles you.
And that's, I think, is strong point. I style myself.
I can believe that.
I really believe strongly in just, you know, bringing, as I said, just bringing the very, very strong, you know, edge of African songs, and also the fashion. And these particular material came from Congo.
Okay.
And the whole theme of the album, there are plenty of them. There's a lot of outfits that we're gonna release throughout the year.
Okay. So are so basically you're telling us you're releasing a clothing line?
I mean, I've started these shoes. It's a collaboration with Doc Martens, so we're gonna be releasing something really for sure. It's something that I really have strong interest in.
Hustler at Electric Lady says Tresor has such an original sound. I love it. Coolest Kid in Africa says Tresor looking fashionable as always, and you are a flame. Amen. Tresor's story makes me realize more and more that our comfort zone could be the killer of our dreams. That's interesting.
Correct. Always push yourself beyond.
So when I was Googling, you know how Google does it? You Google and then it shows you other artists that have been searched, you know, with your name. Kulichana, why is that?
We did a very strong, on a song on my album actually called This Is Home. It's pretty much a song about Africa and being really proud of what really we've achieved as a continent, and also is a big inspiration. I really love his character, and he's
nice guy.
Yeah, very, very incredible human being.
Yeah. Also, Heavy K came up.
Heavy K is my homie, man. Like, you know, there is this actually. I was shooting a video for Mount Everest, the song you like, and afterward I went to his house and I was just messing around, and then he took all those voice clips of that I was messing around and made a song out of it called Celebration. And the song really became massive throughout Africa, and he's still massive throughout Africa. So if you go on his Insta, you'll see like they're actually international football players like Paul Pogba dancing on the song all over online. It's a big Afrobeat song, yeah. It was just a messing around.
AKA also comes up as the third artist.
Yeah, AKA is a homie, he's a brother, and featured on the remix of Mount Everest, and we're gonna be doing more work together soon, yeah.
He's no longer with the, what season?
5th season.
5th season, sorry.
I'm not sure, no comments. I'm not.
I like Tresor. It's like, you're going to have to ask AKA that.
It's cool, man, but we cool, you know. He handle his business, I handle mine.
Okay.
All in peace, all in love.
Yeah, both of you doing very well. Martin Garrix also came up.
Martin Garrix?
Yes.
I've met some, you know, kids close to him in Milan somewhere. Lost Frequencies and Feda were doing big...
Lost Frequencies. Are you with me?
Yeah, we're doing a show together in Milan like a year ago. And I don't know, there is a link somewhere.
Because he came up, and so did Armin van Buren.
It's possibly from the remixes that happened in Europe and that dominated charts, and also like in Germany and Italy and all this. So it's possibly from all the stuff.
So 2 of your songs have gone to #1 in Italy.
Yeah. So the funny thing, what happened is that the music was discovered on YouTube by an NR in Italy, and we're calling one of the people on the team, and they thought it was a scam. It's like, why are you calling? Within 6 weeks or 7 weeks, the song was #1. So, yes, the music travels on, but the incredible thing is that that song, especially that song, I was writing while I was really, really broke. And I kept telling myself and my engineer, I'm like, listen, man, this song gonna get out. It's gotta get out. It's gotta go out of Africa. And it was the first song released off the album. It took about 7-8 months to break in South Africa, but it only broke when the guys discovered, guys on Red discovered in Ibiza. Someone was playing in Ibiza, and they came back. Yeah. So,
you know, you referenced to your broke days a lot. Is there anything that you must always have, either in your house or in your fridge, to remind you that I am not broke any longer? This must be there.
I'm a weird guy when it comes to that, like food stuff. Like I I'll have my first meal like at 4 p.m. because I always forget. But I don't know.
You have your first meal at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Because you forget to eat.
Yeah, I'm always like on my own steez, like working, writing. Either I slept late, I wake up like at 11, so I sleep like at 5 and stuff.
Yeah.
But look, I love good clothing.
Okay.
Yeah, so like good clothing and just, yeah, so that's where, and I don't like really big brands, so I go and sit on my tail. I'm like, I want to make this, so we buy the material and, you know, and I'll make a lot of clothes and just I keep for like future events. I make a lot of stuff, yeah.
So in the future, before I let you go, who is that one artist that every time you see them on TV, you're like, when you and me are going to have a song?
There are many, but I think right now it's always been Coldplay for a long time. Yeah.
Chris Martin and the gang.
Yes, I mean, his melodies are crazy. And it just, yeah, there's something exciting happening this year. I can't really say, I almost said it on TV.
No, tell us!
No, I'm not.
Come on.
No, I can't.
Then why did you come here when I trust?
Yeah, please do not, please. But to be honest.
Start with that?
Huh?
Start with that? A, B, C, D, E?
Next time. However, I'm really excited. I think there's really incredible music out there from around the world. And I'm actually also excited, you know, for the album, the visuals. And
you're lucky you're wearing sunglasses. If you weren't wearing the sunglasses, I was going to break you down and you were going to tell me.
That's why I wore the sunglasses. I knew, because the last time you did on radio. So.
I know. Oh, okay. He'll be back to spill the beans as to what this big secret is. Unfortunately, we're saying goodbye to this amazing award-winning singer, songwriter, and producer who is doing the country and the continent proud, Tresor. The Muses will be joining us after the break. If you want to find out what I'm talking about, stay tuned. And welcome back to Real Talk. Now, if you take 2 violins, 1 viola, remind me to ask what a viola is, a cello, and in that mix you add 4 gorgeous ladies whose talent speaks for itself, what you will get is a unique, fresh sound that will definitely get you on your feet. Without me giving too much away, let me give you a taste of what I'm talking about. Ashley Bodil and Neo Butelezi, who together with Olivia Kotza, who is not here today, form the electric string quartet, the Muses. And from day one, they've proved that there is magic behind these strings of instruments. And this has made them firm favorites at some of the most prestigious events in the country and beyond. Let us welcome the Muses to Real Talk. Hi, ladies.
Hi. Hello.
Where's the 4th one? We could have made space for her on the couch.
We could have, but you know, new baby. And
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. How old's the baby?
About 2 months.
Like 2 months. Yeah.
So she's watching you guys.
Yeah,
And
she
like
is.
she's like,
Yeah.
okay, you have to wave. There she is. Wave to her. There. And she's like, man, I would have looked good on that couch with my makeup and my lips. How did you guys meet? All at the same, like, what? Instrumental school?
We all went to similar schools. Like Neo and Ashley studied at Turkey's together, and Oliver and I used to play in orchestra together, and we all just really know each other from music circles. They're so small in this country that you end up meeting a lot of other violins.
Also, there's like classical instrumental music circles, like where you guys get together and you sip wine.
Big click.
And
Well, we
talk.
don't sip wine, more like, I'm kidding. No.
And then you guys like discuss Beethoven and stuff.
Totally.
No, really, what?
You guys sound like such nerds.
No, it's basically, the classical world is very small in the country. So everyone knows everyone, basically.
But then, Ruby, don't the purists of the industry think that you guys are bastardizing?
Yes,
Oh,
definitely, darling, definitely.
And how do you deal with
Singing
that?
so hard right now. Like us playing electric instruments, they're always like, "Oh, she went to the dark side."
You know, there's more to music than just playing classical music as a classical instrumentalist. And I don't think everyone's always been open to that kind of idea. So for us, I mean, we love the fact that we can play classical music, we can play pop, we can play rock.
We can be on it.
But I don't think everyone always agrees with that or understands that it is possible.
But now, going into this, when you first picked up the violin, which one do you play?
I play the cello, the badass one, the big one.
The big one where you must literally hug it. She has to climb into her job and then like she's there. Okay, when you started playing that, and obviously from a young child, did you know that this could be something you could do?
No, I chose the cello because you sit down when you play it, and now I have to stand playing it in heels.
And dance.
Right? I know. So no, I didn't know I was going to do this. I thought I was going to be sitting my whole life because I'm such a lazy child. And now I'm standing up.
Ashley, why did you pick up which one do you play?
Violin.
Oh, who plays the viola?
Me.
Obviously.
What's that?
So it's like there's like Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Baby Bear.
Okay.
So this would be Papa Bear, the cello.
Yes.
And I would be Mama Bear, which is like the in-between size between, well, it's like the violin, but
It's not the violin,
It's not small,
but it's not the cello.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
you know, and it's tenor. So it's like it's an alto tenor instrument, whereas violin is more alto and soprano.
All right. So why did you pick up?
Yeah, it's the middle child.
My parents just said to me, hey, choose an instrument, and I saw people doing this on the TV, and I decided that's what I'm going to do. I had no idea what it was.
Who of you did it because of Vanessa May? Yeah. There's always one.
Vanessa made my dad, actually, like, because my dad sang in a choir, and we used to go to like rehearsals and stuff with my dad, my sisters and I. My sisters also played instruments, and for one Christmas, my dad bought me the CD, and then I was like, I'm gonna actually do this. Like, this is going to be me.
So I see you guys a lot at corporate functions, right? Like you go to a banking function. Oh, there they are. I'm surprised because you guys are always wearing leather pants. I always noticed about that. I was like, yo, these girls like leather pants. And then I see you guys there, and which is nice because you still get a groove going, but you're still playing such old classics. But now, are you wanting to break through and be considered cool and find yourself playing at Opikopi and find yourself playing at Makufe?
I think it would be something we would consider.
Definitely.
We've played at some cool festivals already. So the thing with what we do is it's so unique that you can't really break out too much because not a lot of people will accept it as like mainstream music.
Yeah.
So you also have to realize that as a quartet and as a brand, as musicians, where do you want to go? Where can you make the most money?
How far do you want to push
how,
the limit?
you know what I mean? And how flexible are the people in the group? There's a lot of things to consider, but we are not strangers to hard work. So if a festival came knocking down our doors, we would take it.
But then, now, wouldn't that like scare you? Because in a way, yes, you're playing popular songs, but then like you have the ability to kind of fade back in the background like Kenny G in a lift. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you see, the thing is, it's like with 3 other people on stage, and it's yourself. So it's like you have more fun. It becomes more like playtime. That's why I think other musicians hate us, is because it looks like a hobby and
like
not
a fun
work.
time
It looks
on
like
stage.
too much fun,
And
and so we're enjoying it. And
to also add to what Neo was saying, I really don't think we could fade into the background.
not
Not like that though. Not like that. Only because we really, like, if you've seen our shows, if you've seen us on stage, we enjoy what we do. We enjoy all the songs that we play. We enjoy all the functions that we get to do. People are like, oh my word, you get to do this for your job. I was like, it is really fun.
and this is this all you do? You guys do?
No.
Okay, so what? Yeah, no. South African reality as a musician. Okay.
Yes, let's be real.
Let's be real.
talk.
There's bills to be paid. What else do you do?
I'm a teacher, so I teach violin. So music is my life, but I teach violin.
I'm a marketing intern. I'm more of like social media behind music. And I do voiceovers, and I also teach sometimes,
And I'm still a student.
Oh, yeah, I heard you the youngest. What do you study?
Music.
Okay, so you guys are all flirting around.
Definitely,
Yes.
And do you guys ever sing vocally on the songs?
No, but if you did require us to sing, we can break out into
Not well,
I
but
just feel like
We can
Ruby,
keep notes.
yeah, I just feel like Ruby's out here to lie to us. Be like, you know, so can you guys build a couch while you play a violin? Of course. Like,
we can.
how much time do you have? How much time do
Can
you
you
have?
turn this into ice? Yes.
You need ice? What do you need? You need to sink the Titanic. Ah, we here for you. Listen, don't go away because after the break, the Muses will tell us more about their love and passion for music. I suppose the beauty is you don't have to do many takes.
We do.
When you're doing a video,
Yeah.
are you really playing?
Oh, well, I mean, we're not really playing.
You just like,
No, it's about
But then
3
we
takes.
still
But it's like
Yeah.
it's 3 takes and it can take the whole day.
Well, that did take the whole day.
so
Half a
here's
day.
it, because you have the same facial expression, right? Is that like totally like look
I know, but
look
you see, that's
whimsical and dreamy as you
Exactly.
really?
Yeah, it's serious.
So
It's
you on
serious.
stage, it's always like, smile. So yeah,
I think, but I think it's a classical like musician trait, not to. You have to be like, you know, like you have to.
I am
Yeah, you're
serious.
serious.
I am
Serious.
studious.
So when we play like certain, it's like Sound of Silence, as you can hear, it's like
Yeah.
dark. So you go into this mind where you're like, and then when we play something like Can't Stop the Feeling, you're like,
it's a body and
you know, like you're
smile and
smiling. So it depends on what you're playing that you
Yeah.
get an emotion.
So you're onto your 4th album,
Yes.
called 4.
Yes.
Now you are playing songs that are already songs.
Yes.
What's the navigation around the rights for that? Do you have to call the artist up and be like, you know?
Well, we work with a really good record label that has rights to re-record and reproduce
they buy
the
the
songs.
rights.
So they have the rights to the songs, and we get an arranger that will put all of the string parts to the beat,
Okay.
and we record them.
And someone on Twitter at Chris Tsime says, please ask them, would they ever do a collaboration with a hip hop artist?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
You guys have not thought about that at all.
No, we were with Kuli at the end of the year last year.
year,
We did.
yeah.
We've done quite a number of collabs. They've just not been on an album.
So you like at a corporate function, then they like team you guys up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to do something.
Okay, so
Hit us up.
which artist are you considering?
The super mega.
AKA.
Kuli Chana, obviously. I mean, we've worked with him. We've done a few corporates
times.
with him. He is an amazing guy. Like,
And his music is so well produced and layered, as well as AKA
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
that is so well produced and layered that
you
could
can
work.
actually
It works for us.
fit it in here. Yeah. And I mean, so many people. Who else? Are Taylor.
We've
Well, they're not hip hop. There's so many other people that are
Who's
like
Taylor Swift.
no,
Hello.
no. Not to say we wouldn't work with Taylor
Yeah,
Swift,
I was just
because I
like-
mean we love Taylor Swift. Taylor, she's a South African.
No, oh, I know Taylor, the emo one.
Yeah.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
her. I know her.
Quite talented artist that
She
we have in
is
this
very.
country.
She
Yeah.
is. How do you pick which songs then? Okay, so I know we've discussed the rights thing, but I mean you did Pata Pata and then the Sound of Silence. And how do you pick? Do you four sit and say, this speaks to me, this speaks to me, I'd like to perform this on stage?
Yes, that's
Definitely.
exactly what we do. So we decide what pieces we like separately, and then we put a list together and decide, okay, do we think this is going to work? Do we think that's going to work?
Okay,
That's how we
so
go about.
4 is 4 minds, 4 personalities, 4 character traits, 4 mood swings. Yeah. 4 time of the month, unless you guys hang out together all the time.
usually
It's in sync. I thought so. So how are you like dealing with the arguments and the disagreements in the group?
Do you know, we don't really have many arguments or disagreements, actually.
Because you're not confrontational, I can see it.
No.
She
But
can be.
we get along, we actually get along really well. And because we met each other in a work circumstance, we've always treated each other in that
As
way.
yeah.
But getting to know each other, we are now friends, but we've always had our work first with each other.
And I mean, even when we do have disagreements, it's more like, it's not like, hey, you know, like get out of my face. It's not that. It's more like, okay, I don't like that.
Yeah, that was an A minor. You had to
Yeah.
do it in A+.
Exactly. or you'd get a look like,
I mean, we're very professional in that sense. If something goes wrong on stage, you get the look.
Yeah,
so you go, what did you just do?
It's me. I did that the other show. Like,
Yeah.
like the
I
song
think I've
was,
done that a few times. I go,
We all have
where
had
you
our
like, oh,
moments.
it's another key. Like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot.
Oh, okay, someone's getting fired.
And then you just smile and carry on.
You're like, I don't.
Was it always you four, or is it like Destiny's Child way? You know,
changed,
only
yeah.
Beyonce and Kelly stand, and the rest is like round robin.
it has changed a few times.
Yeah.
Who was the original?
Can
Ruby
bring be the
was.
Beyonce if that's the case, because she's been at it.
Well, me and Oliver, the
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Beyonce and
Kelly.
Yeah.
And then you guys, who arrived first? Oh, you.
Actually,
Yeah, so Olivia had her first child, and so I joined the group. And then Mia used to be one of the originals, and she also then had a baby, but now she's back in the group as well.
So there's 5 actually.
Yeah, there's actually 5 muses.
It's awkward that the album is called 4.
It is.
but it's the 4th album.
Ah, yeah. We can see who's studying here. She came through quickly. What's the biggest moment you've had on stage? Now,
Biggest moment? Wow, I don't know. I don't know. Well, every time on stage is like a big moment. Like when we play my favorite song, Uptown Funk, Bruno Mars.
really?
That's when I have it. Yeah.
Okay, you, Ruby?
Biggest moment this year would have to be Barnyard. We did a very successful Barnyard show just a few months, like 2 months ago, and the first time we've done a couple of big shows, but this one was really ours because we sat down and we conceptualized what we wanted to do, how we wanted to dress, the music that we performed, and I think it's one of my favorite because it's like one of the best times I've heard us play live. I don't know if that makes sense. So many others. I don't know. I had to think on the spot.
Yeah.
Miss South Africa, like so many other. But this year alone would be Barnyard.
Ash?
There have been a few over the years, but definitely when we performed for Mnet last year, and then also definitely the Barnyard. Yeah.
And performing with the Electric Lights Orchestra, which came 2015. That was quite a big thing actually, because they're a big international group, and we got to be part of their supporting lineup.
And do you have like individual managers, or you have one person who just manages the whole act?
One person.
One. So you guys have a WhatsApp group, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's it called?
Muses 2016,
Oh, we have
Muses
WhatsApp
bookings,
groups.
Muses 2017.
Users PR.
We have many.
Users with
So there's a lot of WhatsApp
There's
groups.
a lot of WhatsApp groups.
Because like it depends who we're talking to.
No, I want the one where it's just you guys, where you even where you talk trash about the manager.
No, we don't.
Muses
She's also in the
without
group.
Olive.
Oh, Muses without Olive. But that's usually to go. So what are we wearing?
Yeah.
I presume black. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. That's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for coming out and celebrating music with us. Thank you to Tresor for joining us earlier, as well as to the Muses for coming through. Do hang out with us again tomorrow, 5 p.m. SABC3, where the stage is yours with Real Talk from me and the rest of the team. They're here looking at me saying, say goodbye, we want to go home. Good night.